I am live. Welcome, everyone, to the Psychic News Network. I was just checking what the date is. It's Friday, May 24th. It is Memorial Day weekend. So, hello and welcome, and let me know how you're doing and what's going on and whether or not you're keeping a positive attitude. Because we must find our optimism during these interesting times that we're in. It's a nice day here in New England. The sun is shining! And today was actually the last day of school for the seniors at the high school. So I got to see a lot of, young people that were just blissed out, having fun. They were in the park next to the ocean doing the slippery slide and playing volleyball. They were having so much fun. And it reminded me, I didn't go back and take a video. I should have. It reminded me to remind you all to not forget to play. Do not forget to play. Do not forget that this is your life. This car is going by playing music. And we have to play. We have to balance out the horridness with playfulness. All right? So y'all go out and play volleyball or kick the can or hide and seek or whatever. If it happens to be too noisy, let me know and I'll close the door. But right now, all of a sudden, we've gone from a cold spring to summer, like overnight. And so definitely let me know if it's too much, because it is a lot. It's very noisy, but I don't have air conditioning here. And see, it's motorcycle night. Our friends decided to hang out on the terrazzo tonight because it's so nice out. Thomas is always positive. You just worked in your garden. Good. Yes, Cheryl saying, I love watching the Gen Zs. They are our guiding light. And so it's really good to see the younger generation having a nice time before they venture out into the wild, wild world. Well, where should we begin? I have Alito on my mind because that's where I'm getting the strongest energy to talk about tonight, because it's really intense. What Justice Alito is embodying right now, what his energy is right now, is extremely intense. And it feels very sadistic. And it feels very similar to Greg Abbott's energy. I don't know, did I say that the other night? This is feeling familiar to me. So I do want to read on Alito. They're trying to rig it in South Carolina. Then Nancy Mace will win again. So they were making a decision on a gerrymandered map whether to revisit the gerrymandered map and to strike it down. And the conservative Christian nationalist Supreme Court majority decided to keep it gerrymandered. What the hey? Alito is the devil's disciple. He is Satan on earth, as is Abbott, based on their decisions and based on their insistence on highlighting and platforming and putting the limelight on them according to how cruel they're being. It's out-crueling one another. That's kind of the intent. Not that he's doing that with Abbott, but let me close this because it's getting a little noisy for me. Not that he's like doing that like in a competition with Abbott. I don't mean that, but I mean these are people that are really monsters. And when I say monsters, I mean where they get pleasure from just from putting people in cruel situations. And the reason Alito has been on my mind so much lately, I think, is connected to what he's scheming. And to me, the plan that he's scheming, that he's putting together, has been going on for quite some time. But it's kind of reaching a peak. It's kind of reaching. It's almost like, okay, you prepare, like if you're preparing for a sports game, you get ready, you practice, you rehearse, or a competition. You get ready, you practice, you rehearse, and then there comes a time where it's like, okay, game on. And that's where it feels like Alito is at right now. And it's disturbing. And the other thing that's really interesting for me to watch, and it might be interesting for you too, because I always step back and I think it's so fascinating that this is not being hidden. I think it had been hidden, but it's not being hidden. It's intentional that they're literally waving the flag, right? Alito literally, he's not the only one. MAGA Mike is doing it too, many others. But those are the ones that are most in the public eye right now. That they're flying the flag. So they're literally putting it on display. They want it on display that they are planning an authoritarian takeover. I'm not telling you that they're going to succeed. I'm just telling you what they're doing. I'm telling you, when I tune in, this is what I'm picking up. The cruelty is the point, and stripping America of its democracy is the point, and turning this country into an authoritarian oligarchy, Christian nationalist, extremist nation is their objective. And the thing that I know for sure is we've got to stop this before it goes too far. Yes. Amy's saying, I wish we could find a way to impeach Alito and Thomas. We have to stay vigilant. 100%. Put that statement up, Terry, if you can. Thanks to Terry. She's the producer tonight. She's helping me out. When she can, she pops in to help us out. So what Amy's saying, I wish we could find a way to impeach Alito and Thomas. We have to stay vigilant. And there are petitions. There are calls that you can make. Durbin and the senator representative from Connecticut, Blumenthal, I believe. They're on it. So when we show the Democrats, our representatives, that we need action taken, when we all get on board, I really get strong impressions that they don't go, oh, well, we don't take notice of that. They will take notice. Our representatives will take notice. The more people that are pushing, the more American citizens, they're working for us. And they agree with us that something needs to be done. These justices need to be impeached. But the more support we send their way, the better they'll all feel about it, right? To just put it simply. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, you write him a fan letter, I know from my own personal experience in my life that it seems as though there's a general, maybe human nature kind of thing where everyone thinks, oh, they don't need to hear that I support them. Oh, they don't need me to sign a petition. Oh, probably plenty of people are signing petitions. We fell into that in 2016. Oh, yeah, Hillary's got it in the bag. Oh, yeah. We fell into that. We saw what that cost us. Our country would be in a completely different place, perhaps, if that hadn't happened. And Cheryl's saying Glenn Kirshner told us how to send a petition to the United States government. Look these things up, post them. Cheryl, if you can share that, on all the social media, you could send it to me and I'll share it too. So we really have to, everyone likes kudos, Zircon is saying. It's really, really true. And let's start with our first dad joke. What do you call a happy cowboy? A jolly rancher. Yay! Like what? But bum. Okay. Apparently Terry's got the sound effects, and I caught me off guard. I thought it was coming from outside. Another dad joke. Whoa, we're starting to roll. I found a lion in my closet the other day. When I asked what it was doing, it said, Narnia business. That's good. Warren is pestering me for a group hug as if I would forget. As if I would forget. Let's first hold your horses. Let's first take a look at this is one I want to look at first. Let's take a look from our new cards that one of our viewers sent, named Tia, Tarot de St. Croix. I really love these. They're really bright and they're very summery. So thank you once again, Tia. I'm going to pull 3 cards about how the Democrats, there's a lot of them that are doing great work, that are holding the party of traitors, the pot party, they're really holding their feet to the fire. So, Thomas liked the sound effects. I did too. It just caught me off guard. DeWine is pushing the Republicans to get Biden on the Ohio ballot. Yeah, like you remember what a basket case I was on Wednesday with all this one after another, authoritarian takeover, attempted takeover. Some of it is takeover, like the abortion bans, for instance. It was a hard day on Wednesday. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I noticed afterwards in the video from Wednesday night, like how intense it was for me on Wednesday, maybe for all of us. But you could see the full moon in Sagittarius, my sign, during my video on Wednesday night came. Did you guys notice that? It came right over my head. You could see it in the video. It was quite beautiful. I'm very fortunate to be here, as noisy as it is. So this is about the Democrats and how they're doing. Okay, this is interesting. Well, the Hermit indicates they do need to hear from us more. They do need to hear from us more. But also the Hermit indicates that they're attempting to isolate the formerly known as Republican Party and make them kind of like stand out there on their own and keep on being cruel and calling people names. And they're kind of like, for instance, a while back I told you that I really had a vision of Marjorie Trader Greene being, I want to say, suddenly feeling shut out. Kind of like when you're, speaking of high school, right? In high school, when if you were in the clique or you're in the cool club, right? And then it wouldn't be very cool to do this, but you were in with a group and all of a sudden you thought you were in, but then they just started to ignore you. I see Marjorie Trader Greene in that kind of a position right now. So the Hermit card reminds me that what the Democrats are doing, like, for instance, the banter, we'll just call it banter, between Marjorie Trader Greene, who started calling, making fun of Jasmine Crockett's appearance. That went viral, right? It went viral. We talked about Tennessee Brando, wrote a song, and then I said I should write a song too. I might. Can't write too many songs about this stuff, right? There's plenty of material. And so, in a way, that kind of made Marjorie Trader Greene, it kind of isolated her. And also, she's just like one of the worst. And also, when she went to oust MAGA Mike Johnson, and I had that sort of vision about her a few weeks prior to when she tried to oust MAGA Mike. She thought they would all stand with her. And not that we want him in the position, but We need somebody in that position right now. Even though a dog would probably do a better job. But anyway, she felt isolated. So as far as how the Democrats are doing, I also have the justice card and the strength card. What's happening in America right now is we're recognizing that we need a massive energy boost. I'm gonna call it. We need like lots of Red Bull for our legal system. You know, we need an energy boost for our system of laws, for our justice system, because what's happened is because the traitorous Republicans have pushed back and decided, what law? Like what Alito's doing. What law? There's those laws? Oh, well, screw those laws. It's forcing the Democrats to strengthen the law. So we were talking about impeaching Justice Thomas and Alito. It doesn't mean that they'll get impeached. I've read on that before, but we need to not shut up about it, right? We need to not shut up about it, and that's the truth. And so let me take this opportunity right now to remind you all that we have a group called Grassroots of Democracy, and there's no excuse for not joining us. There really isn't. Because if you can't make the meetings, you will still get the notes. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com. It's free. We guide you. We do it together. We're in this together. Thank you for your support. So let's do a group hug, and maybe you can focus on whatever you want for our group hug, but I like to set an intention for our group hug. Tell your friends this is the home of the group hug and the dad jokes. It's the only psychic news network out there. We're going to do a group hug and think about the Democrats really being successful at calling these losers out, because the losers are weak. Just so you know, they're weak. All right, 1, 2, 3, group hug. Yay, Snoopy. I love that one. It's so cute. The other night we had bears hugging, I think it was. That was good. I have my eyes closed, so I didn't see that till later. So it does look like things will get strengthened. I mean, I was telling you the other night that I feel this really strong message that this is the only way we can strengthen ourselves is through what we're going through right now. So we can't just, oh, well, we'll just see what happens. No, the only way we will strengthen ourselves is you don't get stronger unless you go to the gym, right? Is by working those democracy muscles that we decided not to use in the past, so they atrophied. When did I start reading tarot cards? Professionally in 1993. I got my professional start when I lived in Nashville from 91 to 2002. Oh, and speaking of that, I have a summer series coming up that I don't have the final PR information material out yet, but soon. It's going to start in July. If you want to learn psychic stuff, we did it last year. When will 45 flame out? Warren is asking. When he just drops from exhaustion, which is kind of happening now. I mean, we can ask that. Let's ask that. I feel good. Da, 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 da. Thomas is putting up James Brown in lieu of a dad joke momentarily. All right, so I'm going to pull 3 cards about, because Warren's asking, I think it's a pretty good question. When will 45 flame out? I like that. I've described it like that. I've described what I see for him as like sputtering. And if you haven't noticed, I mean, if you keep track of the news the way that I do all day, every day, the gaslighting is getting intense. Imagine 45 living on the Titanic. What do you mean? Can you say more about that? 3 cards about when he will sputter out. All right. Oh, Joanna took the class last summer. Well, it wasn't just one class last summer. It was psychic summer school. I think that's what I called it, or something like that. When will he sputter out? Oh yeah, wow. When will 45 sputter out? I got this card the other night, and it was regarding him. And this actually feels like somebody turns on him. And it's not just Michael Cohen. Will he flame out the way that Joe McCarthy did? I kind of think so. Yeah, Electra Storm. He will flame out when God says enough and takes him by his fake hair to the other side. Yeah, he's on his way down. The Titanic sank. It may be slower than we would like. Sharon. Okay, so Sharon's clarifying why she mentioned the Titanic, because when you said the Titanic, the first thing that I thought of was like he would be the first one to grab a lifeboat. He wouldn't even see the other people if he were on the Titanic. Seriously. Thomas is an oldie but a goodie dad joke. Why did the snail paint a giant S on his car so when he drove by, people could say, "Look at that S car go"? That is an old one. You feel that Trump is going to crash for good. I do too. Let's ask the pendulum about that too, and then I'll finish reading the cards about it. By the way, I know it looks darker than usual, but because my light broke, but I'm getting a new one tomorrow, so I have a little bitty one here. Good thing it stays late. All right. Did you have you guys noticed? It stayed late, Later, the first day of summer is coming. Will Donald Trump sputter out? He will sputter out. He will sputter out. So anyway, you've probably noticed the gaslighting has gotten very extreme. The gaslighting and the bullying and the bashing and the name calling, it's really been amped up. And actually, I do need to read on what he did, and Merrick Garland was really angry. What Trump did when he sent out a fundraiser email. Bond Blue, one more month and the days start getting shorter. What are you saying? We need a chat. We need to talk. Can we just enjoy this first? So Trump was saying that the Biden administration planned to murder him. We're going to look at that. Yeah, they're still inflating crowd sizes. So when he will putter out, I really feel like somebody unexpected is going to turn on the loser. Yes, glass half full. We finally had, oh my gosh, it was so cold and rainy and rainy and rainy and rainy. And it's like, finally, it's like I was blissed out today. I felt like I was in the 5-dimensional world. The frequency was really high, felt really good. So let's ride that wave too. Okay, and this is too much worry. This is Trump. If Trump was on the Titanic and it was sinking, it would be the Democrats' fault. But I'm bummed. That's really funny. It's really funny because it's so true.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it. I love it. Our friends look happy. Democracy Smurf and Betty and Benny Bunny and Democracy Elliot, the Democracy Elf, and Judy. They're having a great time. Dad joke, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. He said his summer was pretty good too. Larry, finish answering this question. Somebody's gonna turn on Trump, which is gonna lead to his sputtering out. And the 9 of Swords this is insomnia. This is sleepless nights. Let me tell you, I was an insomniac for 25 years. I figured out how to function. I no longer am. But what I want to tell you about that is after a while, it's really hard to keep your thoughts together. It's a terrible affliction. But I'm just saying that he has insomnia. I think his is drug related. Interesting that he would say, Joe Biden needs to take a drug test. Yeah, and what he's actually doing is trying to get out of debating. And the Nine of Cups. So what I'm seeing for Trump is he's doing his best. You know how he has a woman that picks, the flattering stories from the news media or wherever she can find them, but she probably makes them up and she gets paid for this. And then he goes into the courthouse and he stands outside of the courthouse and he looks like he's in prison already with the bicycle racks there. And he reads from these papers and he says, oh, this person says I'm wonderful, and this person says I'm wonderful, and the judge is terrible, and all this, right? But it's not going to really work anymore. All this praise and adulation that he has around him, like a true authoritarian dictator. But he's really not doing well. He really is losing energy. I mean, health-wise, anything could happen at any minute. I did not see his Bronx rally, Clarence. I didn't watch the rally. I usually catch clips on Midas Touch. I think a lot of us do. Thank goodness for Midas Touch. They really keep us informed. We need to send Ben Marcellus a big hug. He has a calling. The Midas boys have a calling, and all the rest of them. Keeping us informed. So there is some, and the others too, Brian Tyler Cohen and all the rest. There's some good ones out there. New ones coming up all the time. Adam Mosley is one. And I like that, seeing the really young people getting on board. So I will catch more deplorables. Yeah. A lot of deplorables. And a lot of those people that were at the Trump rally in the Bronx, and it was reported by other people that live in the Bronx that were there. These people aren't from here. He buses them in. Yeah, Mike is saying small crowd at the Bronx. So anyway, he is sputtering out. He is becoming very incoherent. And the thing that I don't know, I don't have the textbook definition of what happens with dementia. It's a condition that has a lot of various symptoms, and you could have a lot of them or a few of them. But one of the symptoms of dementia is a person gets they kind of go off the rails really quickly, and I'm seeing that with him. They were leaving in droves. Yeah, after a while it gets icky energy. So somebody that has the onset of dementia, I've heard people say that he doesn't have it, but that's psychically I get he really does have the onset of dementia. And you guys may know more about this than I do, but one of the symptoms is being really bombastic like that and being very reactive and very angry and, kind of vitriolic like he's being. And mean. Same as his father, who he ended up with having Alzheimer's. Can we read on Walt Nauda, Trump's valet and accomplice in moving boxes? What's your question, though, Catherine? I need a question. I can formulate a question, but let me tell you what I picked up on Walt Nauda months ago. Was he's not really very intelligent, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's just what I pick up. So he's kind of a follower. He kind of took the pledge. That's literal. Took the pledge to stand by Trump no matter what, long time ago. And he reminded me of the character in A Few Good Men, the soldier who was complicit in murdering another soldier because the other guys made him kind of be complicit in it. And he realized at the end of the movie, A Few Good Men, that he did do something wrong. That's what Walt Nauta, if you remember that movie, it's a very old movie. That's what he reminds me of. He did it because it was the thing he thought he had to go along with, and I'm just saying that's what Walt Nauta's energy reminds me of. So, and Rhonda was saying, you got that too. Yeah, like he seems to be just like easy to sort of control and just kind of robotic, like just following, just doing what he's programmed to do, which once again, it's a cult. And speaking of a cult, I did promise that I'm going to have a Q&A or an informative like YouTube or a Zoom meeting on how to talk to people that are in the Trump cult. We're not going to save all of them, but we just need to save enough. Because there are many people, from what I'm picking up, that are malleable, that voted for Trump, but they're malleable. All right? Read Chuck's quotes. They're pretty good. Now, we had talked about reading on Alito, so let's do that. And I want to remind you, too, that we did a show. Kathy Beale and I did a show on Tuesday, and we talked about Alito, and we both are picking up. Well, astrologically, it looks like he's got a health crisis coming, as does Clarence Thomas, which we talked about many times before. Rhonda Rue likes my idea that I got from all of you to have a meeting about how to talk to people that voted for Trump. All right. Let's see. Alito. I'm just thinking about what to ask. I'm going to ask about Alito, what the next 2 months are going to bring for him. Alito in the next 2 months. Trump is a Putin puppet. Yes, he's a Putin puppet for sure. A vote for Trump is a vote for Vladimir Putin. Oh, thank you, Chuck, for your contributions. Yeah, he's an extremely... Trump is the most dangerous person in the world. Because we have so much influence on the world, so he's the most dangerous person in the world. Warren, I'm reading on Alito over the next 2 months. So today's the 24th. Please keep in your hearts, just taking note of the date. I think the shooting in Uvalde was on the 25th, which is tomorrow. So pray for the families of the children that were lost. Trump is using that Wall Street Journal reporter being held in Russia. I know. As a bargaining chip. He's not okay. There's something really wrong with him. I mean, what Trump is actually saying is that because he does Putin's bidding, he believes he could just tell Vlad, his buddy Vlad, he could tell his buddy Vlad to release the Wall Street Journal reporter. What's his name? You can put his name up. I forgot what his name is. He's saying that to let us all know that he has fealty for Putin. He's telling us that because, I mean, he's demonstrated enough. I'll do anything for Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin he's like Dr. Evil, but, nothing to laugh about, right? Okay. Love casts out fear, but conversely, fear casts out love. Yes, and not only love, fear also casts out intelligence, casts out goodness, casts out all thought of beauty and truth. That's so true. Aldous Huxley. So Alito, it doesn't look good for Alito. It really doesn't. I actually get a sense, and I have to show you. There's naked ladies on these cards, so I just have to be a little discreet. Thank you, Catherine Bush. Do we have a sound for the donations? Probably applause. Sound effects. What is that, a penny whistle? I like it, I like it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is it true some CIA agents were killed? I think Trump sold stuff to Russia. It is true. There have been spies in the United States that are working for America, because that's what we do. It's a dangerous world out there, that have lost their lives. Let's not forget, when we were still in Afghanistan, before Biden ended the war and brought the troops home, when we were still there, Putin was putting a bounty on the heads of United States soldiers. I think he was offering, it was something like $200,000 to kill a soldier. Get out, really? Today is Bob Dylan's 83rd birthday? Happy birthday to Bob. Happy birthday to Bob. Happy birthday, Bob Dylan. Happy birthday to you. He's never going to hear it. Thank you, Cheryl. Over 150 spies have been killed. How many roads must a man walk down? Anyway, I won't bore you with singing. Alito. This is the United States. It's Alito against the United States. We're reading on Alito. It's Thomas, too. Trump invited the Taliban to the White House. Can we really just blast this information all over the place? He invited the Taliban to the White House on 9/11. I mean, the man is so clearly a traitor. He's so clearly working with and for the enemy. It's just, sound the alarms. Alito, the Sun, it's very, like I was saying, Alito's just putting it on full display. This is what I'm doing. MAGA Mike is doing the same thing. This is what I'm doing. I'm calling for the overthrow of the American government. The Sun. It's all over. We're gonna hear a lot about it. And the Five of Cups means he loses. Alito loses this. Alito loses. The Five of Cups is loss. It's in the traditional tarot, it's the 3 cups spilled. Interesting. 3 cups spilled and 2 cups standing. Merrick Garland just popped into my head. So, I mean, Merrick Garland might say something to the Supreme Court. Just say something. But I have this sense with Alito, and when I first read about it, the day that we found out he hung the flag upside down in solidarity with the insurrection, the day I found that out, when we were reading cards on it, I really was a little bit taken aback, in not a bad way, but a good way, that I saw, wait a minute, this isn't going to go away about Alito. This is not going to get swept under the rug. This is going to be out. We're going to be talking about it a lot. And then they keep on doing things that are heinous, like, oh yeah, keep the it's okay. The U.S. Supreme Court thinks gerrymandered maps are the right thing. Yeah, for a Christian, white supremacist, nationalist, extremist country, that we are not. Yeah, Alito is very sure of his position, and Thomas is the same way. And that's why I didn't expect to get what I got. But I got that this is not going to just fall by the wayside. No, we never got rid of racism. We never paid reparations. We didn't. When you don't have resolution, and speaking of sweeping things under the rug, when you try to sweep all the bad stuff under the rug, good luck, because it's gonna come out eventually. So let's all fess up all our bad deeds and deal with what we did, whatever it might have been. I know all you were saints, so you didn't do anything bad. Ever. Is there no obscure loophole executive order that can sweep Alito? And I think that there is. I've always gotten that there is. We cannot be complacent. If you go to the notes from Grassroots of Democracy, they're there. Go to also grassrootsofdemocracy.com, and also go to Jessica Craven's Chop Wood, Carry Water. She's real good, and she gives you tasks to do. It's all right there. We have the resources. We've got very dedicated, committed people working all the time to save democracy. All the time, working all the time to save democracy. So use the resources that are available. That's why I got so miffed the other night. It's like, come on, you guys. We need to do this, right? And thank you to all of you that do come. We have a meeting tomorrow. Every Saturday we have meetings, and we get to work. Dad joke, what did the lunchbox say to the refrigerator? Don't hate me because I'm a little cooler. That's a good summer joke. I guess I don't need the bell. We have the drum roll. Don Jr. sent you a test? What do you mean a test? What kind of test, Kitty Holler? Let's read on Clarence Thomas. Anyway, as far as Alito goes, I feel like this is what I see for him. He thinks he's all cozy and comfortable, but he's going to be made very uncomfortable. I'm not sure how. Let's ask our trusty pendulum. By the way, I'm going to find my teacup, and on Monday we will tell your friends. On Monday we will resume reading tea leaves. I'm still unpacking, and I'm damn determined to get everything unpacked and put away by the end of the weekend. I swear, I am. Thank you, Maria. All right. Are we going to find a way to get Alito? Wow, that's so interesting. We're going to find a way. We're going to find. That's a kind of a strong yes. It's really interesting to me that this is kind of a strong yes, that we're going to find a way to get him. I don't want to give you false hope, but this is not going to go away. Alito and Thomas, it isn't. What they want to do is take away all our rights. Let's just be frank, right? What Thomas and Alito especially want to do. I don't know why Roberts isn't reining anybody in. Not that he's a saint. But still, we don't have a Supreme Court. We don't have. I mean, I said that a couple weeks ago. The Supreme Court is corrupt, and we actually don't have a Supreme Court right now, and we don't have a Republican Party. So that's where we are. Remember what happened to Abe Fortas? I don't know what happened to him. I claim ignorance. Okay. The Senate will block everything. I don't know what you're referring to, Clarence, because the Democrats will do something. They will do something. His donors don't like this kind of attention. Oh, okay, that's a good insight. Angela's saying, it's DONORS. I was a little confused about what you were writing there. I feel like the school teacher. DONORS. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just helping you to spell. Don't like this kind of attention. I believe that's true. Roberts is his best bud. Alito's, huh? We're going to read on Thomas next. Clarence Thomas. And what I want you to know ahead of time, so you don't freak out, is that they're going to say that Trump, some version of that Trump has immunity. They're going to say some version of that. Okay? Alito's made it very clear Once it was known that he flew that flag, I don't know why it took so long for us to find that out. We could read on that too. I think the other night somebody asked me to read on something, and I said I'll do it next time. So if you think of it, throw it up there. Hello, Sandy. Clarence Thomas. Where's Damon? Is he in the house? I don't think he is. His favorite card is coming up. This is Damon's favorite card. He let us know. Okay. So Terry's putting up there. We have the members are invited to a psychic party. We did that at the last Saturday of the month, 7 p.m. Eastern for an hour. We have a great time. Become a member. Top 2 levels. You'll be invited to our monthly psychic party. Clarence Thomas. Well, you know, the fact that we have the lover card, I'm not saying that they're gay, but as far as Clarence Thomas goes, yeah, I was just telling you, they're planning an authoritarian takeover of the United States government. But I keep getting not so fast, and I see legions of angels. Yes, I do. I see legions of angels. Haven't seen Damon tonight. Maybe he had a date. Unless he's lurking, but I don't sense that he's here. So as far as Thomas goes, okay. So this is Jenny. This is Clarence Thomas and Alito. And I'm not saying they're gay. This is just the gay card. And the Ace of Pentacles. It's very clear to me what they're planning to do. And they're actually making it very clear to us. Like it doesn't take a psychic. Damon is eating watermelon. It's almost that season. Sure was like, we're jealous, Damon. What, that he has a date? I'm just guessing. Joe Eliza saying, I think anything Alito rules should be null and void because he won't recuse himself. Yeah, I know. And that's the kind of thing that I don't really sense that they're just going to be able to do what they're planning. Mainly because we're all going to know. We do know. They're taking away women's rights. Let's read on that. Let's read on that. I mean, saying keep the gerrymandered map, we like it. That's the Supreme Court doing the polar opposite of what their job is. It couldn't be any more opposite. It's about fairness. It's about justice. It's about following the law. It's about protecting the Constitution, enforcing the laws. We have a social contract that we all agreed, yeah, freedom's great. Yeah, we don't want to be under the rule of an authoritarian dictator. We decided that together. He's supposed to defend that. They all are. Dad joke. I can always tell when someone is lying. I can tell when they're standing, too. Funny. A little late on the uptakes there. Terry, you're doing awesome. I don't know where I'd be without you. Probably pretty lost. Will the tax man bring them down? You mean the... Well, you know, the Supreme Court, they have guidelines. They're supposed to... Who was it? Sotomayor, I think? It's amazing. Even, you know, put in her reporting, whatever you call it, her accounting, that somebody gave her a bag of bagels. That wasn't that long ago. Yes, somebody gave me a gift. They're supposed to report the gifts. So she wrote I received a gift of a bag of bagels. How far we have fallen. Yes, they rendezvous. They are above the law. Don't you know the arrogance is disgusting. They believe they are in a monarchy and that they're a group of kings. And I really do feel that they were that in past lives. And the past lives that have a strong impression in this lifetime, they were kings. Is that a song from the swamp to the sewer? Maybe I'll write it. Andre, the astrologer, mentioned recently Alito was pushing for women to lose the right to vote when he was in college. Not surprising at all. Think about it. Alito brags about bringing back laws from the freaking 1700s when they were looking at a woman and going, oh, well, you seem to be a witch. And you know how the story ends. Let's read on Marjorie Trader Greene just for kicks. Does anyone remember what I promised I'd read on Wednesday when I was a basket case? Kitty Holler saying we'll end up having to cover our heads, and that's not far-fetched. They want women barefoot and pregnant. Yes, they say it. You know, I know we're like, oh, next thing you know, they'll be no. They already said it. It's not like we have. Oh, I wonder if they'll do this. They already said they would do that. All right, I guess everyone's good because I mean there was a question. I didn't write it down, but it seemed like I said to someone, "We'll read on that on Friday." They're scared of women. Yes, truer words hardly ever spoken. The patriarchy. By the way, Church of Spirituality has its own channel now at Church of Spirituality here on YouTube. Please join us. The theme for May, we have a theme every month, has been the divine feminine, the necessity of nurture. Please go to Church of Spirituality on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because it's brand new. I separated it out. It used to be here, but I separated it out. So that's what we've been talking about this week. So speaking of women, Marjorie Trader Greene is not. I'm not saying she's trans or anything, but she's not. She's not feminine. Dad joke, the owner of the tuxedo store kept hovering over me when I was browsing, so I asked him to leave me alone. He said, fine, suit yourself. We can give him some applause, too. All right. Marjorie Trader Greene. Quickly, things are going to come tumbling down for her because it really feels like somebody has it for her in terms of, I'm going to get her. Like, I don't mean like violence. I just mean we're going to take this law that she's breaking and we're going to enforce it. I'm talking about like the house. Cheryl doesn't remember either. I might have already read on it. Salty Chip is saying Marjorie Trader Greene needs to go. Yes, she does need to go, and she's going because I've seen it. And the Empress is the United States. You know what it is? It just came to me. Marjorie Trader Greene is 6B. I think there was a B missing in that whole alliteration exercise that Jasmine Crockett did, but I'm sure it was inferred. Yogi Bear has watermelon year-round here, so watermelon sounds really good right now. I got some ice cream today. That was amazingly. It was just hot, and it was good. Anyway, meanwhile, back at Marjorie Trader Greene's camp, Merrick Garland was not having it as it should be that way. And he responded to Marjorie and the loser, they're both losers. He responded to them forcefully. He said, this is extremely dangerous and it has to stop. They even had Jesse Waters on faux news. I think he was saying something about, oh yeah, the Biden wants Trump assassinated. So Trump sent out, And Marge was going on and on and on about it. She makes up these like elaborate stories about, yes, the Biden, they were trained, they were getting ready to assassinate him during that raid. It wasn't a raid, it was a search. And Trump wasn't even at Mar-a-Lago. And what was in the document of the FBI search was something about, just standard stuff. And we this is what we do. This, in extreme circumstances, this could happen. Trump wasn't even there. How many times they tried to get those documents? I don't know, but I'm going to look it up. How many times, how long Trump had those documents in the, what did Jasmine Crockett say, in the shitter, right? How long he had the documents. It was like a year and a half. He kept saying, no, they're mine. No, they're mine. No, they're like a little toddler, because he is a toddler. So what I'm saying here is that, Marge going out and saying again and again, over and over, the Biden administration, they're going to assassinate, they were going to assassinate Trump. It's not okay. This is the United States. This is a DOJ taking action swiftly. I have the chariot. I'm covering her up because she's in. These are really gruesome cards. Yeah, they do look ridiculous when they make stuff up and get caught. But we're in the age of gaslighting. And I miss my eyes. The Page of Swords. The news of what the truth is that's coming at her, and I do see her getting nervous about it. But it's coming. Then they found more dogs in the bathroom. Yeah, and then they found there was a secret door. Remember that? I'm going to have to start writing these things down because there has been so much craziness happening. We are getting desensitized. One of the signs that I know that we're getting desensitized or that we're falling into this is like things like you can hear in your head. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You can hear in your head this phrase, even though you don't believe it. You can hear Biden crime family. You can hear crooked Hillary. You can hear in your head crooked Joe Biden. You can hear like numbers that have never been seen before. You can hear all these Trump phrases in your head because they say them all the time. The one that drives me crazy, and it seems like a little thing, but to me it's a big thing, is when they started using improper grammar when referring to a Democrat. And Jamie Raskin pointed this out, probably to Lauren Boebert, I think it was, because they would keep also mispronouncing his name and say, well, Mr. Raskins, and it doesn't have an S on the end. So anyway, when they say Democrat, blah, 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 they use, instead of using Democratic as the adjective, they say Democrat such and such, Democrat such and such. And my point is that I've heard people that are pro-democracy YouTube channels using the word the wrong way. It's democratic when you're using it as an adjective. And I'm saying that as an example of how much things get normalized. It's just a little example. George Conway, Darren says, has put up a huge billboard that says, vote for Joe, not the psycho. I love it. We need a lot of that. I'm going to read on that. I'm going to read on if we're going to have a lot of that. So the reason I was saying I'm going to start writing these things down is because we need to remember what we used to have. I mean, death threats. For nothing. Death threats for doing your job, going to Congress, like if you work in the government, going to work, poll workers. Oh yeah, you help our country by being a poll worker. We can't normalize that stuff. Decency. Dad joke. I found a book called How to Salute 50% of Your Problems Solved.
Nailed it.
How to solve
Nailed it.
50% of your problems, so I bought 2. Let me share with you. I'm a big fan of quotes and affirmations, and I usually have them on my wall. I don't have very many hanging up right now. But I have one from the late, great, one of my greatest teachers, Tony Stone. And it says, all my problems are not now solved. Make yourself a sign. Just print it out nicely. All my problems are now solved. Right? Like it? That dad joke reminded me of that. Okay. Let us dive in. What was the question? I don't know if I had a question. Springsteen was really yelling about Trump. Yeah, we need a lot of that. I guess I'm reading about that. Are we going to see more of that? I mean, once it gets started, this is what I know for sure. Once we start that kind of domino effect, like one person, like Jasmine Crockett, you know, said something that was really funny about Marjorie Trader Greene, just sort of like giving it back to her. It was in jest, but she deserved it, and then it went viral, right? We need that. That's why I keep telling you, get my song out there about January 6th. Grassrootsdemocracy.com is there. We need like massive messages. Massive messages. The other thing that's happened is people are pretending like the most heinous assault on our government, incited by a president and citizens attacking our government. Like, why are we not talking about that every day? Let's not remember after 9/11, never forget. Well, let's never forget January 6th. We need messages out there. So 3 cards about when. So once we get something going, I mean, the silly things tend to catch on more, I think. But silly things that have a message, like I like vote for Joe, not the psycho. That's great. It's easy to remember. Write to Jasmine Crockett. Oh, I may do that. Yeah, I need help. I need help. I need a big platform. I have a small platform. I need a huge platform. I'm working on it. There are things that I'm doing. I just need help. Okay. This is interesting. So what I'm asking is, are we going to get messaging that really takes across? And we are fighting against, right now, it's a matter of reeling it in, reeling the fake news in, reeling the Putin propaganda in. That's exactly what it is. It doesn't take a psychic. That is factual. It's Putin propaganda. Electrostorm has a good idea. What did you say? I like good ideas. I missed your good idea. Oh, right to Jasmine. No, I didn't miss it. Yes, that is a good idea. You can send it to her too, right? That's my point. Like, you can send it to her too. Thank you. Yeah, Dwight saying MAGA's only talking about inflation, high food and gas prices, and it's high in my country and other countries. So why they only crying? Well, we have the best. We are the envy of the entire planet. We have the best economy in the world. We have record-breaking job numbers, greatest job numbers in American history. We have unions back online. We have junk fees being eliminated. We have health care and prescription drug prices have been dropped. We have people coming together and helping one another. And then we have this loser who wants to destroy every single department of the government. And I'm going to do another exercise and write down all the different government agencies and departments, and it will be, thank you, Rose, it will be a very long list. Think about the FDA. Where would we be without our food being inspected for safety? Do we want to get food poisoning? Do we want all our loved ones to have food poisoning? Think about what Donald Trump did about COVID. Oh, what pandemic book? Oh, we threw that out. So the messaging, it looks like right now we need to reel in the fake news. That's what a lot of our work is going to be. So we'll be reeling in the fake news and bringing, it's like we just need to reach a critical mass. And Biden will win in a landslide. And if Trump is still alive, he won't accept it. And we'll have chaos. And then we'll get through it. One of those questions. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. Bring back the fairness doctrine. Well, maybe that's what I'm seeing here. Maybe because I feel like it needs to be reeled in, and it needs to be reeled in soon. You should listen to Jesse Waters. It will make you puke. But you know, if you wonder what they're saying, you can't believe what Jesse Waters is saying. You just, it will make your hair curl, and if your hair's already curly, it'll make your hair straight. Is it the fairness doctrine? Am I picking up on the fairness doctrine? Kind of, sort of, not really. It's more than the fairness doctrine, but I am getting yes. Where are you, Dwight? Bread in our country here is like $5 or $7 US. In your country, we have to pay like $15 to $20 in your country's currency. Hide current comment. Did somebody say something bad? We won't have that. I didn't notice. I miss the trolls. Well, this is remember the other night I said this is a King of Cups, but in the context of what we're reading on, I see this as Trump sputtering out, like we were saying. Sputtering out. Let me tell you, part of the reason that people are talking about the price of bread, let's remember. How you guys doing out there? I think they like it out there. Let's remember what the country of Ukraine was known as. This is a test. Teacher's asking you a question. What was the country of Ukraine known as? Going once, going twice. You get invited to the psychic party if you come up with the answer if you're not already a member. The breadbasket, no, of the world. Ukraine was known as the breadbasket of the world. You guys didn't get it. It was the phrase was coined, the breadbasket of the world, not just Europe. Yes. Nobody got it. That's funny. Anyway, I love you guys. How much longer should we go? You know I love you. Failed again. Salty chip. No, I was looking for the breadbasket of the. Oh, you did get it. Okay. Salty chip won that one. Yeah, but I didn't see it till after I said it. We'll have to do it. We'll have to get Terry on that. Did you say it before I said it? And sunflowers. But we're talking about bread, and I'm just making the point that when people in America complain, and we take so much for granted, it's mind-boggling how much we take for granted. I posted a video of an interview. It's on my community page. I posted an interview between Bernie Sanders and Ilhan Omar. Her name is hard to remember. Ilhan Omar. And she's an immigrant from a refugee from Somalia. And what she talked about was what it was like being a child and having a normal life in Somalia. And then a civil war broke out. And I'm telling you, all I could think of was like Lauren Boebert calling her the jihad and you know, them calling them the what they call them, the trio, see, I don't even remember, but this has been going on for so long. What they call them, AOC and Ilhan Omar and the other one. It was such a long time ago. And you can't believe, you know, you think about, you know, she had her whole life being what it was, and then all of a sudden a civil war broke out and it was all gone. And they became refugees. The Squad, thank you. I totally didn't remember what they called them. I thought it was something more offensive. Ukraine produces honey? Oh yeah, I guess with all those flowers. It was an excellent interview. It will really make you think. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm actually going to pull 3 cards about Trump and what the next rallies are going to bring for him. Benjamin's here. We are way too spoiled. I mean, you know that we're way too spoiled when we watch people say, I mean, there are MAGA people literally saying, we want a dictator. I mean, you can't even believe it. That's like, you are too clueless. You are too, I don't know, ignorant. And you choose to know nothing about what you're saying. And you know what? And I was thinking too, I'm going to read, before I read on Trump's fate over the next few days, I'm going to read on this. These MAGAs that are saying they want a dictator. They're literally saying that. These MAGAs that are saying Putin's great. These MAGAs that are saying, oh, Viktor Orban, he's a strong leader. These MAGAs that are actually saying, and I talked about this before, there's a documentary, I think it's National Geographic, a documentary. You can look it up. This is America or something like that. I put it in my newsletter, my Substack, a few weeks ago. And Morgan Freeman was interviewing someone who escaped North Korea, who was born into a work camp. And you cannot even imagine, because it's unimaginably horrifying what he went through. And he actually escaped. And then you hear people that are MAGAs like, oh, Kim Jong-un, yeah, strong leader. And Trump just keeps saying it. And he was just saying it in the Bronx. How wonderful these dictators, these murdering war criminal dictators, how we need to be like them. And you're going, WTF! Oh my God! 3 cards. And so what I'm thinking is, how is it that they can say they admire them and they think that they have it going on and like they're cool? Like when Putin invaded Ukraine, the first thing Trump said was like, I saw that happened and I thought that was genius. I fell out of my chair. I couldn't even believe he said it. As much as you would expect something like that from him. I thought that was genius. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. It's so horrifying. So they're saying that they admire these people, but they don't even know about them. They have no idea what they're talking about. They should look up what Putin has done. That's how clueless they are. Maryland saying they should live in a dictatorship country. Well, you know about the Canadian family that thought they'd do better in Russia than Canada. They sold the farm. They moved to Russia. 8 kids. They wanted to be in a place where gay people weren't tolerated. And the Russian Federation stole their money. Nobody knows their fate. I haven't heard. I don't know what happened to them. If you hear, well, we're curious. Okay. My wrenches went to sleep. It's okay. It's all good. Okay. So. Oh, thank you. The wrenches are working. Sorry. I saw that one. That was pretty awful. Pretty bad troll. That troll wins the prize. Dad joke to quash the troll. What did one cupcake say to the other? You ain't seen muffin yet. Babe, you just ain't seen nothing yet. Here's something you're never going to forget. All right, anyway. I actually do think that they're going to have the MAGAs who think they want a dictator. I actually feel like they're going to get a wake-up call in general. We need to find out what happened to that family in Canada that was like, oh, we do better in Russia. That's freaking delusional in the worst way. It's so tragic. Those poor children. Thank you, Gloria. I removed him too. It's heinous what that person was saying. It was probably a bot. I kind of feel like it was. Anyway, it does feel like there's going to be some kind of a wake-up call. We can't save them all. We just need a critical mass. All right? We can't save them all. We just need a critical mass. And I want to tell you, I've been tuning in. I tune in all day, every day. There's not a moment that I'm not thinking about what's going on in America. That's God's honest truth. I should work for Midas Touch. Just in the sense that I'm always thinking about it. I never stop thinking about what is happening in America. Some of us have to do it, right? Never stop. I got that was a bot, too. It was hard to remove. The troll. So today I was really reflecting on where the collective consciousness is in America. And I just want you all to know. From my heart to yours. Americans want to save democracy. We are seeing the dregs of society. We are seeing the bottom of the barrel, cruel, horrible, awful, mean, malignant narcissists, sociopathic, sadists, greedy, miserable, horrible, monstrous people highlighted. But I want you all to know that the United States of America has a huge number of people that are paying attention, that are intent on saving our democracy, and that are going to rise up if they haven't already. And we are going to save our democracy. This is a test. But this also isn't a dress rehearsal. We have to prove and show what we are, who we are, what we're capable of. This is our time. There's been no other generation, really, unless you count, like, it's Memorial Day weekend, the World War II veterans. There's been no other time in history that it's been like this. We've been in this much danger. And that means we have to prove that we are up for the job. We're capable, we're competent, we're ready, and we're going to stay woke, and we're not going back to sleep, and democracy will win. Our democracy is strong. Joe Biden said it at the State of the Union. So please come. I mean, and I was thinking too about the elections where I was on the edge of my seat, and except for 2016, and Russia interfered. We know that. That is factual. The American people pull through. We're still here and we're still a democracy. So don't buy into all that. I can appreciate Nicole Wallace and all that, but I fired off another email to MSNBC. Would you stop lamenting on how horrible it is without talking about solutions? Just cut it out. Tyler's saying, I send Biden healing and strength energy every day. I say 2 decades of the rosary every day for our country. God's honest truth. I just happen to have been brought up Catholic. I'm of the mind that if you pray the way that people prayed forever, you don't have to believe in everything that you're saying, but those prayers have power. They have a lot of power. So do what you know works. Do what's worked for thousands of years. Pray the prayers that have been prayed for thousands of years. This is Memorial Day weekend. Let's not make it about freaking shopping. Right? You think people aren't paying attention, but every election where we've seen as democracy is strong, more Democrats running in elections winning. It's all our enemy countries. We're the crown jewel. They want to take us over because we're the envy of the world, because we're free. I mean, our enemies want to, it's like if they get America, it's like this big conquest. We will not let them win. Let's remember our veterans. I was going to read on Trump. Oh, Darren's like, that's impressive. It takes a long time to say the rosary. I do it while I'm walking. It depends on how long my walk is, how many rosaries I get to. It's like prayer beads. They keep your mind from being distracted. Right? Something to focus on. I'm reading about Trump over the next couple of days. He's very nervous. Trump is very nervous. These cards are so funny. This is Trump. That card kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Boy, I'm sweaty. I feel like I'm on stage. The Lover card. He's surrounding himself with yes people and admirers and you know he's a true dictator. True autocrat, the chariot. Yeah, this stuff coming up for Trump really fast, and he's very, very nervous because look, that's a guy being roasted. If you're curious about these cards, if you haven't been here before, it's the Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen Tarot. It's gruesome, but it's characters throughout world history that have been horrid people. Most of them are horrid. And I get a lot of use out of them because we're reading on monstrous, horrible people. All right, before we go, I think Terry has a slideshow at the ready. Just, but I'm briefly going to tell you what I need and what I appreciate. I appreciate all of you, but first a dad joke. Why do people who live in Greece hate waking up at dawn? Because dawn is tough on Greece. That's a good one. You should send that one to
Nailed
Dawn.
it. Nailed it.
God. I didn't expect that. I was like, where's that voice coming from? There's a ghost in here. Nailed it. Let me tell you what I'm up to. I need readings. I need for you guys to book readings. I don't know why you would let all this talent go to waste. I don't understand. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. I'll have information up soon about the summer series about developing your psychic skills. You can take all 7 classes, or you can sign up for just individual classes based on what you're interested in. So stay tuned for that. Please watch Church of Spirituality on the new channel, and please subscribe. It's at Church of Spirituality. It makes your life better. It's every single Sunday. I love you too. At 1 Eastern Time, live. If you have to watch it later, because it's a new channel, you have to wait almost an entire day before the video uploads on Church of Spirituality. So just type in Church of Spirituality and I think it's in the description too, on YouTube. Psychic Annette Dion, a book of reading. Grassroots of Democracy meets 3 times a week. please sign up. It's Memorial Day weekend. Let's all sign up to join Grassroots of Democracy, grassrootsofdemocracy.com. We meet 3 times a week, and it's been over 2 years. So we are dedicated. U.S. Coast Guard Semper Paratus. I don't know what that means. What's that mean, Michael? And I have a song, and I'll post it. I have a song about called "War Is Blind." That's on my record. That's all. And if you're looking for my music, it's on psychicannetteDion.com, and it's also on Spotify and Bandcamp and iTunes. But I will post a song called "War Is Blind." It does have a video slideshow. It's about Vietnam, and I wrote that many years ago, and it's recorded. And so I'll post it because it's Memorial Day weekend. Please give to the veterans, support our veterans, and yeah, it's a special weekend. Let's take some solemn time and appreciate all those who gave their lives for our country and all those who are suffering from injuries and being forgotten. All right. Thank you to all the veterans here, all those that serve to keep our country safe. And I will see you soon. All right. We'll have tea leaves on Monday. I love you all. Namaste.
I have sailed upon these waters, put my stakes into this land. There haven't been many others who can explore the way I can. I am a man of unconventionality, living on the edge of this reality, and I am here to lead the way. It is clear you'd be afraid. New world out there waits. New world out there waits. I have preached upon this mountain. People knew me well. I told them heaven can be found if we only look inside ourselves. I am a man of unconventionality, living on the edge of this reality, and I'm here to lead the way. It is clear you'd be afraid. New world out there waits. New world out there waits. We can follow all the others or discover a new way. Take some risks, find our courage on